Now read the New World Translations, Job chapter 1 and 2 as well. Now, there was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. He was an upright man of integrity. He feared God and shunned what was bad. Serving 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. His livestock amounted to 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 1,000 cattle, and 500 donkeys, along with a very large number of servants, so that he became the greatest of all the people of the East. Each of his sons would hold a banquet at his house on his own set day. They would invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. After a series of banquet days was complete, Job would send for them in order to sanctify them. Then he would get up early in the morning and offer up burnt sacrifices for each of them. For Job said, "Maybe my sons have sinned and have cursed God in their heart." That is what Job would always do. Now the day came when the sons of the true God entered to take their station before Jehovah, and Satan also entered among them. Then Jehovah said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered Jehovah, "From roving about on the earth, and from walking about in it." And Jehovah said to Satan, "Have you taken note of my servant Job? There is no one like him on the earth. He is an upright man of integrity, fearing God and shunning what is bad." At that, Satan answered Jehovah, "Is it not for nothing that Job has feared God? Have you not put up a protective hedge around him and his house? Everything he has, you have blessed the work of his hands, and his livestock has spread out in the land. But for a change, stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your very face." Then Jehovah said to Satan, "Look, everything that he has is in your hand. Only do not lay your hand on him himself, on the man himself." So Satan went out from the presence of Jehovah. Now on the day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and said, "The cattle were plowing, and the donkeys were grazing beside them, when the Sabaeans attacked and took them, and they killed the servants with the sword. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another one came and said, "Fire from God fell from the heavens and blazed among the sheep and servants and consumed them. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another one came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 bands and made a raid on the camels and took them, and they killed the servants with the sword. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, yet another one came and said, "Your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. Suddenly a great wind came from the wilderness, and it struck the 4 corners of the house, so that it fell on the young people, and they were killed. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." At that, Job got up and ripped apart his garment and cut the hair off his head. Then he fell to the ground, bowed down, and said, "Naked I came out of my mother's womb, and naked I will return. Jehovah has given, and Jehovah has taken away. Let the name of Jehovah continue to be praised." And in all of this, Job did not sin or accuse God of doing anything wrong. So that's chapter 1. Chapter 2. Afterward, the day came when the sons of the true God entered to them to take their station before Jehovah. And Satan also entered among them to take his station before Jehovah. Turn the page. Then Jehovah said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered Jehovah. Satan answered Jehovah, "From roving about on the earth and from walking about it." And Jehovah said to Satan, "Have you taken note of my servant Job? There is no one like him on the earth. He is an upright man of integrity, fearing God and shunning what is bad. He is still holding firmly to his integrity, even though you try to incite me against him to destroy him for no reason." But Satan answered Jehovah, "Skin for skin. A man will give everything that he has for his life. But for a change, stretch out your hand and strike his bone and flesh, and he will surely curse you to your very face." Then Jehovah said to Satan, "Look, he is in your hand, only do not take his life." So Satan went out from the presence of Jehovah and struck Job with painful boils from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And Job took a piece of broken pottery to scrape himself, and he was sitting among the ashes. Finally, his wife said to him, "Are you still holding firmly to your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You are talking like one of the senseless women. Should we accept only what is good from the true God and not accept only what is bad? Not accept also what is bad." In all of this, Job did not sin with his lips. 3 companions of Job heard about all the calamities that had come upon him, and each came from his own place: Eliphaz, the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. So they agreed to meet together, to go and sympathize with Job and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they did not recognize him. They began to weep loudly and to rip their garments apart, and they threw dust into the air and onto their heads. Then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word to him, for they saw that his pain was very great. So I'm going to pause there and say, I guess it's confusing to me that God would allow Satan to just play these games amongst an innocent servant, to just put him in all these pains and just put him in so much agony to appease Satan. And again, just forgive me for maybe my wording or so, but it just doesn't make sense. And even the portions where it says Satan came amongst him, I'm like, really? He was right there beside him? Because get out of here. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did he come amongst him like that? Just hanging around, kicking it, walking about with them. I just question, did they know Satan was present? Did they hear this conversation? Did they hear Satan presenting this inquiry to God? And why did God answer him? Why did God even just allow Satan to play this game to prove a point that his servant was, he would keep his integrity? It just doesn't seem fair to poor Job. God knew Job was fearing of him and trusted his word and did what he asked. He knew this already, and I'm sure Satan knew this because he had done it already. But of course, Satan had to put the test out there. Oh, if you take this away from him, he won't serve anymore. Blah 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 blah. I get that, but it's like God has nothing to prove to Satan, so to let Satan do this to his poor servant just didn't seem fair to Job. It just didn't seem fair. But again, I am simple man, and I understand that it is said that God's God's way is not of our understanding. I do get that, but it's still questionable, and it's concerning for, again, an innocent man. I guess it helps you wonder, even to this day, when we are free of wrongdoings and we try to do our best as individuals, and we are plagued with so many pains and agonies, and we go through so much as individuals. It's just so unfair. And we can utilize, I guess, these examples from the Bible with regards to what's going on, etc., and say to ourselves, hey, Job went through this and he remained upright. We should do the same. Unfortunately, however, we don't have the same connection that Job had. We're not able to communicate with God and say, hey, so that it's we have, to me nowadays, we have to have an even stronger faith than Job, because we don't have what Job had. He had at least some type of actual relationship with God himself. Oh, I wish I could have that. Jeez, like I would feel more confident in the things that I'm going through, that I would overcome them. Because some of these challenges, they're traumatizing for life, and you overcome them and you make it, but they stick with you. They're like there in your heart. So I guess we can look to these Bible messages and try to utilize these as our personal strengths. But it still is worrisome and scary sometimes. And you have to say to yourself, how can we have that same energy? How can we maintain like Job? I know we don't have a choice if we want to survive, because that's what gives us that strength to move on, to overcome our challenges. But it's concerning. It's really concerning. Truly, to me, it's concerning.